It's Thursday night. Welcome to the Alexander Hour. That's Dallas there in the background on my green screen. Will be covered with snow and ice this weekend. 60 hours of below freezing temperatures supposed to get really nasty out here. We'll see what happens. I want to get right into the drama. I know you want to see more of the barbecue and DA drama. You want to see the prosecutorial proclamation heard around the world. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. You ready? And then we're going to move on. People keep asking. They love this video.
I'm fixing to prosecute him. I'll prosecute anyone.
Why are you going to prosecute him?
For lying on the form when he said he's disabled while he's out making barbecue. Selling barbecue. That's a crime.
I am disabled.
All right, let's move on to some additional Van Zandt County drama. No one's talking about it. How big of a deal is it when an elected official gets arrested? Pretty damn big deal, right? I want to show you one. I want to show you a gentleman. Okay? I'm a one-man show here. Be patient. A Van Zandt County commissioner, he was arrested on official oppression and impersonation charges. Basically, he was impersonating a cop, they say. But I posted this thumbnail because I'm like, why haven't we heard more? Why don't we know more at this point? And before we get into the actual charges and break them down and what they said happened, let's look at what a county commissioner actually is. Okay, this is courtesy of a Google search. I wanted to know what they did, and I wanted to get on here to be able to tell you what they did so we could figure out what he did that wasn't allowed, which is they're saying he said he was a police officer. So let's take a quick rundown of this. We won't go word for word. There's basically says there's 4 precincts for a county commissioner. He gets one. He serves on the commissioner's court. That is the county's governing body, where they help set budgets, tax rates, and policies. The primary responsibility, and the thing I think most of us think of when we think of them, is building and maintaining county roads and bridges in their specific area, alongside managing public infrastructure, health, and safety services for the county. Now, when you go down and you're looking at key responsibilities and duties, let's see if we see anything regarding law enforcement. As a member of the commissioner's court, along with the county judge and the 3 other commissioners, they conduct the county's general business. Roads and bridges, budget and taxes, policy making, contracts, personnel, elections, public services. I don't see anywhere where it says they have law enforcement duties. I don't see anywhere it says that they serve warrants and arrest people. So let's break down what he did. I'm going to give credit to Fox 4. This is their report. They did the due diligence. This happened back on December 4th. Now, it's being forgotten because the fireworks and the electricity between the incumbent DA in the video just now and the barbecue Big John, that's taken center stage. I mean, that's the main event, okay? That's the main event. Let's look at what they say. I'm not going to read it all because there's no need to. There's another picture of Mitch. This is what we know. $15,000 bond. They released a statement. And this is the part that let's get bigger on this, right? Let's go bigger so we can see, you can see. Okay. According to court documents obtained by Fox 4 News, Mitch Curtis was indicted on both counts, alleging that on June 7th, which is 6 months previous to being arrested, he impersonated a police officer and ordered a person to stop shooting firearms on his own property. For the oppression charge, the indictment alleged Curtis then and there knowingly unlawfully, intentionally denied or impeded the victim in the exercise or enjoyment of a right and or privilege, namely firing guns on his private property, which is a whole religion in Texas, right? We love to be able to fire guns on our property. It says the defendant, Mitch, was acting under the color of his office as a public servant to basically tell them to stop what they were doing. Translation, and under the color of the office it may have looked from outward appearances that he might have that authority, but when you peel back the layers, no, he didn't. Here's my question. No knock on law enforcement. It mentions the Texas Rangers in here. So when people say that, or hear Texas Rangers are involved, I mean, I think there's automatically some implication of guilt, like, oh, they brought the big guns out. My first question is, what took 6 months to investigate those charges and come up with an indictment? I mean, that took a while. I interpreted the story, and maybe the story's been a little bit doctored because I've heard it from outside sources other than this. Essentially, there was a young couple's home, maybe the husband or boyfriend, he's firing weapons, right? He could have been doing it. He could have been discharging the weapon in a completely safe manner, and he just pissed off the neighbor and they didn't like the noise, so they sent Mitch over. Maybe it was Mitch's house or a family member or a friend or a constituent, I don't know. But somehow Mitch finds himself at the residence where the young man's shooting the gun. Basically says, stop. I'm guessing on some of this dialogue, I'm assuming it was met with no. Probably not no, but hell no. And then it was, well, you got to stop. I'm a cop. I'm the man. I'm telling you to stop. That's what the complexion of the charges look like to me. So you could look at it a few ways. Maybe the young man was firing the gun towards someone's house. Their kids were out there. They were like worried about it. And so he said, I got to stop it no matter what. For reference, on New Year's Eve in Dallas, someone was shot and killed by a stray bullet from 3 blocks over. But you know what? The young man could have been perfectly in the right, and Mitch overstepped his bounds just by going over there in general. And maybe the kid did everything he was supposed to do. They didn't like it. But either way, they find themselves now filing a report. Mitch is in trouble. He gets arrested. Texas Rangers. A lot of keywords there. I posted the thumbnail and this on Facebook a few weeks ago on another page. One of Mitch's supporters got pissed at me and said I made him look mean in the face or made him look pissed off. Lady, it's a miracle I did that in general. You know what I mean? I gave it the photo. It came up with that. Don't be pissed. This is not a Mitch is guilty story, and it's not that the other people are lying story. My whole thing with this issue is, are we going to drag a publicly elected official through an arrest, potentially a trial, because he has followers of his raising money on a GoFundMe? This is serious stuff. Are we going to drag him through all that based on a few people, and I mean less than 5 or 6, saying he did it, based on their testimony alone? Because to me, I would think, look, it's 2025 when he was arrested, and this is the age of gotcha. Like, if I've got a video or some audio of you, or you have some of me, and you're like, you're my enemy, gotcha. No one's posted that in 6 months. That hasn't been leaked. Well, let's don't pretend it's not salacious. He was elected in the United States of America in an election, and now he's arrested for doing supposedly shady stuff under the umbrella of the county commissioner. So it's highly salacious, and we're going to convict him on that. Now, I may be wrong. There may be tons of evidence, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that it exists. It would have already seen the light of day. And again, it doesn't mean he didn't do it. I mean, I'm a hothead. I don't know Mitch. Never met him. People ask me, you're from Grand Saline? Never met Mitch? Haven't met him. But I'm a hothead, right? If I think you're shooting guns, I've ran the scenario through my head. Your shooting, even remotely, potentially could come over here and hit one of my kiddos. You know, if I just can't stop from coming to say something, I'm probably going to pull out all the stops to get you to stop so no one gets hurt or killed. Well, maybe you weren't even doing anything wrong. Did Mitch pop off here and say, is he feeling a little, hadn't been in office that long? Is he saying, hey, I want to flex it a little bit? Or was it completely taken out of context? He never said it. I think the public needs to know. A lot of drama going on in Van Zandt County. We don't even need this right here, but like I hate to see good people. Now, Mitch is formerly a preacher or currently a preacher. Either way, he publicly presents himself as a man of God. And so that with that comes an ability to have people follow you and believe in you. And Mitch has that, I believe, in spades. But let's cut these people loose, right? If we don't have audio or video proof in 2026 now, 2026, got to cut them loose. To me, people will be like, who do you think you are? Who are you? I'm no one. I'm just a Van Zandt County resident, but I can see the emotion with which some people in my community are putting towards supporting Mitch. I don't think we should have to put them in a spot of picking one side or the other or dragging the other people through this situation. Is there something that exists? Put it out. Put it out. Mitch, this is an invite for you to come on. I've got a spot for you here on the couch. The people that made the complaint would love to have you here, obviously on a different day, but I want to hear your version of events. People need to know. In my opinion, they'll never get a conviction on this, but a truthful story from the people that it happened to, publicly here, or they put it out themselves. If you really are telling the truth and you believe it, go public with it. And it may keep him from getting elected next time if it's true, right? Probably won't get a conviction, but you could still impact future elections. And to be honest with you, if I was Mitch, I wouldn't run for county commissioner again after I've been dragged through the mud. Unless they make him into a martyr, and then he's going to keep running, he's going to keep winning, and he's going to keep bucking against the system. There's a theory that the DA doesn't like him, right? She passed this indictment on to another county. I mean, really, she had to. No matter what, in the current environment, if she takes it, she's bad. If she ships it out, she's bad. No other way. Hindsight, probably should have just kept it in county, but I'm interested to see how this plays out. I think a lot of it's posturing. I don't know that there's some big agenda. I mean, you had to do a lot of coordination to go out and get someone to say, hey, on this very night, shoot a gun. Mitch comes over. I mean, that's Hollywood script type stuff. But anyway, no one else is talking about this story anymore. Maybe now they will. Thank you for joining the Alexander Hour. 80 people watched the last episode, so maybe we'll hit 90 or 100 this time. Stay warm and watch out for this crazy ice storm.